Okay, we are back on the First Single podcast. I'm here with Gars today. How are you doing?
Good. Excited for this mock draft and happy to be back, man.
Yeah, happy to have you back. I know this episode we're just gonna do a mock draft since the end of the season and everyone loves a mock draft. So we're gonna kind of do it where we alternate picks where Alex has the first like all the odd picks, I have all the even picks, which kind of works out with top 10 since the Jets have both 4 and 10, Giants have 5 and 17. And then also, so with this, as you guys can see, the Eagles have 15, 16, and 19. So Alex will just do all the picks for the Eagles, and I can just take that Chargers pick at 17 if that's okay, and just kind of do it that way, just so like you're not picking a guy and then try to build a draft around it, and then I pick someone at 16. You're like, fuck, this ruins the draft.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense to me. We can
Okay.
kind
Yeah.
of get
So
started now.
whenever you're ready, we can get going. Also in this, we're not going to do any trades or anything. It's just who's available. That's what the pick's going to be.
With the first pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm gonna go with a little less than obvious pick here. I'm gonna go with Ikem Ekwonu. Just an offensive lineman that knows kind of like every spot on the line. He's played a little tackle. He's played a little guard for a team that actually had, I believe from what I've seen before, a top 10 offense in college football. And he's really made an impact on the NC State program. And I think he'll make an impact blocking for good old Trevor Lawrence. So
Yeah, I like that pick. I've seen a couple where Ikem Ekwonu goes above Evan Neal, which both have been risers this draft season. And yeah, I like that Ikem Ekwonu pick. You got to protect Lawrence. So at number 2, I don't know. I think you got if you're the Lions, you have a lot of space. You have a lot of needs on this roster. You don't have a very talented roster, and I think keeping the top edge rusher in this class in state really helps you guys out. So I'm going Aiden Hutchinson to the Detroit Lions.
all right. So for the Texans, you see a lot of needs, and the defensive side of the ball especially. So they have needs at edge, cornerback, safety. And this is a really mixed bag of who they can pick here because they need a lot of work on that side of the ball. So I'm going to go with Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. He's just a monster on the field, and he can stop whatever it is, rush or pass, whatever they need to kind of like propel that defense to make it somewhat exciting.
Yeah, I agree with the pick. I think they need edge. Personally, if I'm the Texans, I might try and look to trade down because you have such a weak roster. But we can't do that in this mock draft. So with the 4th pick, I think you got to get another tackle in there if you're the Jets. You got to protect Zach Wilson, at least give him a chance. And I think pairing Mekhi Becton with Evan Neal is perfect.
Yeah, I agree. They need someone to protect Zach Wilson back there because he can't do it on his own. He's going to be a second-year guy. He struggled a little bit his first year, but kind of picked it up at the end and showed some flashes. What did he have? He had a big play, like a 60 or like a 70-something yard run at the end of the year. Yeah, so some flashes for him there. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. For this next pick for New York, I'm kind of gonna go a little bit lower on the list here. I think it's a very talented edge class. I think they're going to go with Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. This is a guy who's had some really big games, and I think will make yet again an impact for this defense, and this edge rusher class is freaking outstanding. So
Yeah, it
lots to pick
is.
from here. So
It's deep. And the former last chance U star, Jermaine Johnson, he's a bit of a riser at because of that Senior Bowl week he had.
yeah,
So with the 6th pick, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. And I think this could be the first spot that a quarterback could go in this draft. And I mean, it's not a deep quarterback class, but everyone knows quarterbacks are drafted above what they normally would be talent-wise. And I think they go with the safe option, the guy that's going to be able to run the Matt Rule's offense and just not turn the ball over, in Kenny Pickett.
that's a good decision. He's very durable, both in the pass and the run, and can yet again make plays for this team. Panthers had kind of like a plethora of going through QBs the last couple of years. They've gone through PJ Walker, Kyle Allen, Cam Newton, kind of like
Sam
who all had
Darnold.
like Sam Darnold, who had all very, very minor sparks that didn't really turn out for them. So Kenny Pickett having a safe option at QB only makes sense. So with the 7th pick and for the Giants, I think they go Charles Cross from Mississippi State. I think you need a tackle to protect Daniel Jones, especially after that season-ending injury earlier in the year. And you don't want to have Mike Glennon again in that backfield, even though the guy's beloved. No offense to him, I don't really want him throwing the ball to really anyone. So there you have it there.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that the Giants are in on Daniel Jones still. I don't understand how, from what you've seen from him in the NFL, but yeah, I think you need to get a offensive line, and hopefully Cross and Thomas can be your bookends.
Yeah, he's Daniel Jones and Trubisky are two very similar players. Like they show a lot of flashes. Like they're very scramble heavy quarterbacks who have a lot of potential, but don't kind of get robbed of it from being in their systems that they were in.
Yeah, I agree. And I've seen flash from Daniel Jones, but then you also see the fact that he has a 4th pick interception game, which can't be doing that in the NFL. With the 8th pick, I think the Atlanta Falcons get the arguably the top defensive player in this draft class. It's just safety's not as valuable position as edge rusher. But I think they go Kyle Hamilton here and try and help out their back end.
Yeah, as a Golden Domer, that's a very smart pick for especially this late, grabbing the best safety in that draft class to make a splash there. And obviously, Falcons definitely need some help because it's a very open fly zone there. So, all right, for the Denver Broncos, kind of a tough choice here, but looking at it a little bit, I think they take the risk with Stingley. So I think even though Stingley has struggled the past couple of years in the college level, kind of having it after finding his spark freshman year, doing what he does best, he fell off a little bit. However, I think he still thrives in the top 10 as one of the most talented defensive backs.
Yeah, I like the pick. I mean, he had an amazing freshman season, like you said, kind of tailed off. But if you think you can get the guy that was here, that was a freshman that he was as a freshman in college, you're definitely getting a top 9 pick in this draft, no matter what.
Yeah.
With the Jets' second pick in the first round. They got their tackle, and I think I got with Evan Neal. I think so. I think there's two options here. They could either go David Ajabo out of Michigan. Granted, they are getting back Carl Lawson, and Franklin Myers is not a bad edge rusher opposite Lawson, but I think they could definitely upgrade at the position. Or I think you need to get a cornerback, which I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. I think, from what I've heard, some people have him as the top corner in this class over Stingley, but I can see how some people like Stingley a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. This is, so for Washington, this is kind of a tough pick because I think they could very well go quarterback, but they also have not the worst, but not the greatest offensive line. But I think they do go quarterback, and I think they go with Matt Corral.
Yeah, he has a live arm, and if you're really looking at those traits, if you're going with Corral. So with the Minnesota Vikings here at 12, they definitely do have a lot of needs. I don't think this is a very talented roster outside of the wide receiver, outside of the skill positions and edge rusher for them with Daniil Hunter. I think this is another position where you could see a quarterback get taken, especially if Willis is still on the board at 12. He's a developmental prospect. You're really drafting him for those traits, not what he did in college. And again, quarterbacks get taken high in drafts, no matter if it's a good quarterback class or not. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Malik Willis here at 12 to the Vikings. They're drafting him for those traits and sit behind Kirk Cousins, who I think Steele is coming up.
Yeah, I could really see that, honestly. The Browns are a very interesting team. A lot of people kind of bagged on Baker Mayfield's performance, even though he's been like battling injuries on and off. So despite people saying like, oh, they need a quarterback, they might have to look at one in the draft. I don't think they look this early. I think they go defense, and I think they go Jordan Davis from Georgia. Kind of Jordan Davis led the charge for the national championship team and knows what it takes to win, and is a menace and can get to the quarterback. I forgot how many sacks he ended up with last year. He really put up some Aaron Donald type numbers. That's all I know. And he's going to make a big splash for that team, obviously.
Yeah, he was the problem at Georgia for opposing offensive lines. Dude is an absolute stud. He's also he is just massive. But yeah, I like the pick of Jordan Davis there. They need to do something about that interior defensive line. And then with the Ravens here at 14, I think they definitely need to go defense. Their edge rushers, they got Adofe Owe, but opposite of him, I don't think they really have anything at edge. I think Bowser is a free agent. I think their other edge rusher on their team is also a free agent. And this team is known for being able to develop guys. And David Ajabo is really raw. He's talented, but I like the Ravens to develop him into another stud edge rusher for him.
I really like that pick there. So Philly has 2 picks in a row, and they can go many ways for kind of this draft. Watching some of the games, a lot of people over the past few years have hyped up the the Eagles' offensive line, but honestly, I think they could obviously use some more blocking up front. You saw Jalen Hurts kind of like running for his life, and you also saw Miles Sanders get banged up. Pretty decent running back, in my opinion, get banged up time and time again. So kind of a surprising pick here, but I think they go Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's talented. And they'd probably at this point either move him or Mailata into guard. But I like the pick. They definitely do need O-line help. Okay.
Oh, did you want me to read off the next one, or?
Oh, yeah, you got the Eagles.
Oh, all right. So, yeah, they still have the next pick over here, and I say they go with Andrew Booth, who was a big part of that Clemson success with Trevor Lawrence, and he's played incredible football for the past couple of years at the collegiate level. So I think he'll really help that defensive backfield for Philadelphia very handsomely.
Yeah. And then the Los Angeles Chargers are up on the clock here at 17. And I think there's a couple places they can go. I still think they need to improve that O-line. They have been doing it the past couple of off seasons, but I still think they can use some help, try and help protect Trevor Lawrence a little bit more. I think that edge rusher position opposite Bosa can use some help. And then as well as, since Mike Williams, I believe, is a free agent, they could probably use another wide receiver opposite Keenan Allen and Guyton.
Bosa has to be getting up there. Was he like 30, 32?
Yeah, he has to be somewhere between like 30, 32 years old. I don't know exactly. But I think the value at edge is too great in this class. And I think they're going to go with a guy who has all the talents in the world. He's just not he's not the athletic freak that Ojabo is, or are these top guys. I think they go George Karlaftis out of Purdue.
Nice. Well,
okay. And then
I think,
and then since you got those two, I'll take the Saints, and then we just go back to interchanging it.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so they don't know what's up in the air with Mike Thomas in New Orleans. Don't know if he's ever going to play for them again. You don't really have much at the wide receiver position for whoever your quarterback is, which I'm pretty sure they're pretty pissed that the top three guys are off the board. So yeah, I'm going to go with Traylon Burks out of Arkansas here. Try and help build up that wide receiver position and get whoever the quarterback is there another guy that they can throw the football to.
There you go. So now, do you think the Saints stick with Jameis Winston as their quarterback?
I think it's going to depend on the amount of money that he's going to get, because I believe he is a free agent this offseason, which, coming off an injury, he's going to be a little bit more discounted. And the Saints do not have money. I think they're negative $70 million in cap. So yeah, I think it's really going to depend on what he's going to be worth. And I think this is a complete teardown rebuild for the Saints.
I can see it. Yeah, New Orleans needs a crap ton of help in that NFC. Even with that weak NFC South, I think the Saints are still like kind of bottom of the barrel right now. They're still trying to find themselves, and they're pretty deep in a bad cap situation with all the contracts they have. Is Michael Thomas still under contract?
Yeah, he is, but I don't think he wants to play there anymore, or either that. That's what I believe. I think like the team he wants to be traded. The team's just saying no, and he's not playing for him.
Yeah. I can see him going to like somewhere like Pittsburgh. If say Aaron Rodgers goes there, I can see him like kind of like boarding ship with a quarterback who's already a superstar, and I think he wants to win. So there's that. So Eagles, I think I'm going with edge rusher Trayvon Walker from Georgia. I think just you can't really go wrong with anyone from that national championship team. One of the best defenses in the past, like one of the best defenses in the past 5 years in college football. Honestly, was that Georgia, was that whole Georgia defense, and picking anyone from that draft is a very smart, safe call.
Yeah, I agree with the pick. And then you get to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think this is a spot for a quarterback that hasn't really, or was a starter, hasn't really been given a chance the last couple years. And I think they could bring in someone like a Mitch Trubisky or something, try and get that quarterback position figured out, especially with none of the top guys out here available. But I think you got to help him out and bring in some O-line help. And I'm going with the top center in this class. I believe Mike Pouncey is no longer there, or Marquise Pouncey. I forget which one is in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think they're going Tyler Linderbaum here.
Especially if they pick up a quarterback, they need a good pulling guard to kind of help them secure the edge, so they can run a nice spread offense, whatever they want to end up running there. So Patriots, so they can go with honestly a lot of options here. I feel like they want to kind of build an offense around gritty Mac Jones. So I believe they go Jamison Williams from the University of Alabama. And I think kind of studies shown that picking a wide receiver from Alabama is a very smart choice, considering Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle's performances, and just based off of that program's success producing wide receivers, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, so on and so forth.
Yep, I like the pick there. So the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, and they have not had the best of luck the last couple of years with their first-round draft picks, with Damon Arnett no longer being with the team and the whole Henry Ruggs situation. But yeah, I think from what I heard, they're offering Derek Carr a contract in the $40 million range per season.
I don't know about that. He's really good, but
yeah, he's good. I think, but I think you need to protect him, and I'm going to go with arguably the best guard in this class in Kenyon Green, who does have experience at the tackle positions as well.
Yeah, it's good having a player kind of having experience in both those positions if you have a contending quarterback who can take you far. So I think Arizona, I think they'll go with Trent McDuffie from Washington. I haven't watched much highlight film from him. From what I heard, he's a very speedy, dynamic quarterback, and Arizona really needs to make plays with a lot of free agencies walking, kind of like hearing about the Kyler Murray situation. I feel like a lot of guys are kind of going to walk from the team, so they need young players to start fresh.
Yep, I like the pick for that. They have another Washington corner there in Byron Murphy, who I think he'd pair nicely with. And here comes the Cowboys. They got a stud with their first round pick last year in Micah Parsons, who can both play off ball and be an edge rusher at times. I think they are a little pissed that there's not a elite or really a first round edge rusher at this point other than Cameron Thomas. But I think they need to address that safety position that's been an issue for them for years. And I'm going to go Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State for it.
All right, so I think with Buffalo's next pick, I think they're going to go with Zion Johnson. I think Zion Johnson, interior lineman from Boston College. I don't think it hurts to have a little more tonnage for Josh Allen. And I think they're kind of looking to make sure he's protected and to kind of preserve that playmaking ability that they have.
Yeah, I like the pick there. So the Tennessee Titans are up on the clock. I think there's a couple positions that they definitely do need inside linebacker, which the two top guys, Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean, are still on the board. And I think they do need corner, which I'm very high on this guy too, from what I've been hearing and watching, Roger McCreary. And they did falter they did take a corner in the first round a couple of years ago who did not work out for them. And I think, what was his name? I'm just blanking on his name. He was a corner out of
what college did he go to?
USC.
Oh, it's coming off my tongue, but
yeah, I'm just blanking on the name for him right now, but I kind of like the Roger McCreary pick to get him another corner. I think their corners were a little bit exposed against that Bengals wide receiving core, and they have an elite front four with Jeffrey Simmons and Bud Dupree up there. So I think a little bit of help on that back end can do wonders for them. So yeah,
was it Elijah Griffin?
No, it was Austin Jackson, I think, or not Austin Jackson, but I'll look him up. If you want to go through this next pick, I can look him up real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see, for the Buccaneers, they might need a wide receiver. I think Chris Godwin might be on his way making an exit. So I think they go big playmaker Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. I think he's someone who's been under the guidance of players throwing to him like Justin Fields. I think he's going to have kind of like big success. I think he will have big success in the NFL. So kind of building on that, it's something the Buccaneers need with especially if they're going to have Kyle Trask under center, hoping that goes well from them. So
it was Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
He was released from the team, I believe. So they definitely do need that. And I think the Packers are a little pissed here that Garrett Wilson is off the board. Granted, they don't take wide receivers first round ever.
Yeah.
But you don't really, I don't think, really need to.
Your beloved Packers next.
I think the Packers do have a need at tackle. David Bakhtiari coming back from injury is going to be massive. But I think they need to do something about that right side of that offensive line. I don't think Billy Turner is the right tackle of the future. And I think they go with a guy who has some versatility is a massive man at 6'8", 380. And Daniel Falalele out of Minnesota.
Gosh, literally twice my size. Holy moly. All right, so I think Miami kind of needs a little bit of a run game boost, so I can see the first running back being picked here with Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. And I know it's not a popular choice picking a running back in the first round, but I think just the playmaking ability that Kenneth Walker has, being phenomenal rusher in a Big Ten division that's always plays tough defenses, and he really held his ground against those odds. So I think Kenneth Walker is going to be a really good player, and watch for him as a good fantasy sleeper as well.
I like the pick. And they do need help offensively. Got to take some pressure off of Tua. So the Kansas City Chiefs are up next. And it says here that they have a need at wide receiver, which I do believe that I do agree with. They do have a need opposite Tyreek Hill. I think they don't really have a second or third guy that I really believe in. Mecole Hardman might be a third guy, but he's definitely not a number 2 option. But I think having Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jacob, and Josh Allen to contend with in that AFC for probably the next decade and a half. I think you need to get edge, and I think you need to start putting pressure on them, and I think you need an edge rusher. And I'm liking Cameron Thomas, who can either be, you might need to drop a little bit of weight if you're running a 3-4, but I believe the Chiefs run a 4-3, and they can't keep paying Frank Clark the amount of money that they are and him not producing. So yeah, I'm going Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State here for the Chiefs.
Nice. Now, I understand that the Bengals need a lot of help at offensive line. If you see that Super Bowl performance where Joe Burrow was again nearly had another devastating injury, which has got to be scary to watch for Cincinnati. But I think they will make those splashes in free agency. I think they have a chance to get Terran Armstead, maybe Brandon Sheriff to complement Joe Burrow. So I don't think they'll look for it as much in the draft. I think they'll try to get a veteran in there because they do have a lot of cap space to make that happen. So I think they rather than that, they go with a linebacker in this draft, and Devin Lloyd, a really good playmaker on defense. Got 8 sacks as a linebacker, which is pretty impressive, putting up interior defensive lineman stats right in the sack column. Never really hurts. So I think they'll go that route.
Yeah, him and Logan Wilson can be an issue inside for sure. And then the last pick of the first round, which is only a 1-round mock draft, we got the Detroit Lions getting that pick from that Matthew Stafford trade. And I think they have some needs at wide receiver and linebacker at corner. This team just has a lot of needs, but
that's Detroit.
Yeah. And I think they try and pair Amon-Ra St. Brown, who might have been the steal of the draft this past year, with another wide receiver outside. And I kind of like his fit next to a bigger guy who can get down the field than Chris Olave out of Ohio State. Keep him in the Midwest. And yeah, Just try and get Jared Goff some weapons if they do believe in him. And if not, you get some guys for the next guy.
Yeah, if if they go with Olave, they're gonna have quite a bit of weapons. Considering DeAndre Swift have been more relevant in the pass offense, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously, and TJ Hawkinson. So I think they can really have something going there. And they don't have the worst O-line. Obviously, they need a lot of work coming their way. But I do think they will make some kind of splash in free agency and try to sign a big name at corner. Also considering they're losing Jeff O'Duke. They'll probably lose Jeff O'Duka, or am I saying his name right? Jeff
Okudah,
yeah. I flipped the letters wrong. At cornerback, they'll probably lose him to free agency somewhere. I can really see either Cincinnati signing him or JC Jackson as well, with all the cap space that they have. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, this is our first mock draft of the year here at Winners Only Club. I can just go through the picks. Any ones that you thought were like, this is a great pick, or any ones that you're like, I think they could have went a different route? Looking through this again,
I say to me, the one that sticks out is Atlanta with Kyle Hamilton, the Golden Domer himself. I think for years, for just about a decade, they needed help at the defensive backs position, and it's someone that can really create a culture there in Atlanta.
Yeah, and then from what I've been hearing too is some people might think he might be able to also play a little bit of slot corner and also match up with tight ends, which has been a massive issue for them, keeping up with those tight ends. And honestly, in the NFL now, it's a massive issue. I just think, yeah, going through this, I really like the Jameson Williams pick to the Patriots. I think reuniting Mac Jones with one of his former college wide receivers. I mean, you've seen what it did for Joe Burrow. Granted, Mac Jones is no Joe Burrow and Jameson Williams is no Jamar Chase, but I think it just did wonders for a young quarterback, getting some familiarity in there with them. And I can't see it being a bad pick. Granted, I don't know how likely the Patriots are known for not taking wide receivers high, but and when they do, they don't technically work out. But I'm really hoping Jameson Williams does work out, unlike N'Keal Harry. But yeah, this is our first mock draft of the year, and hopefully we can put out a couple more of these, and we can put out a couple of articles with our own mock drafts, just doing that. I know Jacob wants me to put out a 3-rounder, which is going to be a real big task. But yeah, and this will be releasing, I believe, either like earlier next week or on the following Thursday from when we did this. So yeah, any final thoughts, Gars?
Oh, some really good stuff. Just very fun to be here. Obviously, I've had quite a busy schedule, so I haven't been able to make all the First and Goal podcasts, but I'm excited to also start my own podcast in Campus Chat. I have my friend Brandon, who's going to join alongside with me to talk all about college football, just the campus culture, tradition, exciting scheduled games that are going to happen for 2022 and future schedules above and beyond. So excited to get that rolling.
Yeah, can't wait. And as always, comment below on this video, or if you're listening to it on Spotify, message us on Twitter or tweet at us, and either tell us how you liked our picks or how big of morons we are for, having Kenny Pickett as the number 6 pick to the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, just let us know. And yeah, I think that's everything I have. Hopefully we see you next time, and we can do a couple more of these. I think we might be slowing down a little bit with the First and Goal podcast outside of like mock drafts and stuff until free agency hits. But yeah, just like, and if you are interested and you do like our content, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and can't wait to see you next time.
Ciao.